Greetings. This is a short introductory video about the GM power seat transmission, the six-way power seat that GM used from 78 to 88 in various cars. It began with a single motor, screwed down to this bracket that attached. This is the front. This is the back of the seat. So the motor attached here and the power seat transmission connected just like that. There are square drive cables that plug in. A little bit of fiddling around there to get them lined up. Anyhow, a screw held it on here and here. And when you're removing this, it's easiest to remove the 3 screws here and the 13mm nut right there. Get the motor out of the way. Then remove these 2. Separate these cables. And then worry about these. This keeps it in there pretty doggone tight. It's going to be easiest to twist this, and it's a bit of work. And this thing's probably in pieces anyway. If you notice how easily this breaks. It was I guess we got about 30 or 40 years out of it, so that wasn't too bad. You'll notice that the differences between the 2 different setups, the earlier 78, 79, 80 GMs, had a black input shaft and very rarely had a white input shaft. You'll see they're the same length. The newer ones, which could have been red or yellow, are just slightly longer. The earlier ones had a black rubber coupler. The later ones had a white plastic coupler. Some had a coupler similar shape. It was a solid hourglass shape. The newer ones changed the motor bracket so that there was a bit of a space in between the motor and the transmission. Later on in the Rolls-Royces, they added this spacer plate, and that would go right on there, and that would hold the transmission off a little further so that the longer input shaft and coupler could be used. And you'll find those on late 86, 87 Rolls-Royces. Or any of the earlier Rolls-Royces that were repaired with newer parts, because the earlier ones were just unavailable. Like I said before, these are square drive cables. I don't know how well you can see that, but they all have this retaining bracket, one on each side. If you can manage to get this out of here, you can, not so much on this one, move these actuators to make it a little easier to work on, but make sure you don't get them out of sync so that they're different places. The GM cars began with a switch similar to this in the armrest. It was the big body cars. There were a lot of problems with the wiring in the door where it goes through the accordion. The wiring could break, and that could give you a lot of problems. The newer GM cars went to this right on the side of the seat. And you'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pins. is how many pins that is. Then they went to this just black one, and they had a big chrome cover that covered the whole side of the seat. So you could have either of these, and these are quite a bit of work to clean up and rebuild. You notice these are both corroded. They get rained on quite a bit. The Rolls-Royce and the Bentley used this type of switch, and these are just awful. These came out of a burned car, so they're frozen, but it is so much work to get in here and clean and repair all these contacts, but it can be done. You know, the switch is rebuildable. And that about sums it up. A little better look at these. That about sums it up. If you have any questions, please post them at the bottom of this, and have a great day.